Perhaps, Jackie, if you could start off and just give us a sense of the way you've handled it, the way you've adapted to it, some of the changes you've noticed about your own leadership style over that period.
Yeah, thanks for that, Andrew, and thanks for letting me be involved today. Firstly, I'd like to perhaps talk a little bit about my normal leadership style and then how I've actually had to change as a consequence of this health crisis. I'm a really authentic, values-driven leader who believes that leadership drives culture and culture drives performance. And I strongly believe that trust is the glue that holds organisations together. So my normal style is I'm out and about around the organisation. I'm really collaborative. I'm out chatting to everybody, and I really try and build a strong culture, team orientated, empowering our people and really driving trust across the organisation. And when I saw this storm of a crisis coming at us, I was really clear with the executive that we would need to change our style. I talked about the fact that I would be more directive and having to make decisions in really short periods of time with limited information. And I also was really honest both with the executive, with management and across the organisation about the fact that I wouldn't have all the answers because I was an apprentice in this and, I'd never had to face this in my career, and that I would try my very best to provide the best decisions, but I might not always make the best decisions on reflection or in hindsight. So I undertook then to be much more directive, much more decisive, and here you've got all this volatility, things are changing on an hour-by-hour basis, and worked in that environment. And because I had trust in the organisation and I had a great leadership team, a strong management team and strong planning framework, I think it actually worked really quite well, and the organisation has achieved amazing things. But conversely, on one hand, you say, I'll be more directive, but on the other hand, once you've set that clear, concise framework and you've been directive, you've actually got to let go. You've got to let the organisation and your people go and be creative and innovative and see what they're able to achieve. And I must say the results have been overwhelmingly positive, and our people have achieved amazing things. A key part of that as well has been really clear communication. So I would say communicate lavishly. I communicated every day. I have a strong comms team here. We did a lot of videos, daily communication that went all the way from executive. The same information went down to the staff on the waste trucks and to our parks and garden staff, or if you're in childcare, all those staff got the same lots of messaging. And the messaging that came through was really simple, clear, concise and understandable. So I think for me, that really built trust in the organisation, and I've been delighted with the results that we've been able to achieve during what has been a very, very difficult time for us.
What about drawing on prior experience, Jackie? I imagine you've obviously just had those devastating bushfires, and I wondered if this leadership in a crisis, you'd had some preparation for that, perhaps.
Yeah, I would say Victoria generally has a very strong emergency management framework and a strong approach to what we undertake. And we even have significant statutory responsibilities in this state around our relief and recovery in particular. And as a consequence, that has gone really quite well. We had a great business recovery plan here, although on reflection, it could have been better. Particularly, we even had a pandemic sub-plan when we came into this, but it assumed that there would be a vaccine. So perhaps on reflection, had we had a bit more insight, maybe that could have been better too. But at least we had a starting point. We had a good framework to work from, and I think that really helped us get through the crisis and gave our people a sense of certainty and a starting point.
Marty, what about your experience? And obviously you've spent time in the police, so you're sort of used to dealing with fairly fluid situations. How have you noted your own management style perhaps has changed in this shift in paradigms?
Well, I think, and thank you, Andrew, for the question, and thanks for the invitation to be part of this seminar. So I think it's natural in times of crisis and when people are under pressure to go very deep into their character corners. And it's really important, I think, to understand that that's a natural tendency and to check that. And the best way to check that really is to get your team together and share your thoughts and views and try and close the gap. what I've found is that there's obviously less time to make decisions, that communication is a lot more deliberate, matter of fact. There's less time to reflect, I think, on decisions and issues as they have been in the past. And it's a very, very forward-thinking, fast-moving environment that we're in. And often people interpret, I think, the directness, the matter-of-factness in ways that need support or explanation, just as Jackie's described. So my natural tendency is, I think, to be, as a Red character, forward-thinking, bigger picture. And so what I have to do is regularly check in with others, particularly the executive team working close to me, to make sure that, I guess, their needs are being met just in the way that we communicate.